The essence of the minorities press conference this morning is to expose government for a mess they created. And 10 months down the line, they have seen the need to fix the mess they created. Folks, we are aware, and I have distributed copies of this financial clearance to all of you. And this financial clearance was issued on the 17th of July, 2024. The item 2 is, the Honorable Minister of Health is hereby granted financial clearance to enable the ministry engage 15,200 nurses and midwives who have graduated from the public and private institutions. Folks, this financial clearance, which was issued on the 17th of July, took effect immediately. The agencies that recruited, and this was the 7,000 or the 8,000 government keeps saying that were cleared financially. They are all part of this 15,000. Now what happened was this. The Ministry of Health, which is responsible for the teaching hospitals, recruited theirs. So on the same financial clearance, last year, they recruited theirs and they were paid 5 months. So all those who the ministry recruited with regards to this clearance had their 5 months salaries from July, August, September, October. Now the difference is that the ministry was able to do its validations and they did it spot on. Now, CHAG, the Christian Health Association of Ghana, they also used the opportunity to recruit theirs. If there are any differences, will be a few irregularities based upon delays on a person, but in general, was successful with them. Now, the only entity that delayed was the Ghana Health Service. However, they also did that recruitment before 31st December. Now, this clearance expired on the 31st December in item 7. As you read, it said, please note that this financial clearance expires on the 31st of December 2024 and cannot be used thereafter. Now, in normal public administration and civil service of this country, financial clearances expire. Even under this government, they will have financial clearances expire and they will go for extension. It is a normal practice in the system. It's no news, but you could only use it when you go for an extension for the Ministry of Finance. So, why didn't government see the need? Money was allocated for 15,000. You came in 7,000 or almost 8,000 had started. The remaining were employed by Ghana Health Service, albeit they were late, but they were at post. You didn't see the need to tell the institutions to reject them. Neither did the institutions write to you to reject them. What it meant was that they filled the gap and they were needed to be at post. So the institution used them. Except for political reasons. They did not extend this for political reasons. And then 10 months down, they faced an embarrassment where the students or the staff went on a public agitation, demonstration, to draw your mind to this clearance and the need for extension. Embarrassing enough, you are saying that you've taken it to cabinet for an approval. What sort of cabinet do you have to take for an approval when you have a clearance already? You're throwing dust in the eyes of the people. So government created a mess. And they've seen 10 months, it's caught up on them, and they are fixing it. And that's when you take political decisions. You see, the minority, we are a reasonable minority. If you remember when the nurses went on strike, the leader is here. On the guidance of the leadership and the committee, we resolved that it was too early for us to support a cause, and maybe they may have to be reasonable to government. And that was because government is continuum. Regardless of the clearance they had, all this payment dates was approved in the last year. Understand government a bit and then be merciful. Go back to work and negotiate with government. The minority was so reasonable And then the nurses saw the need to go back to work. So this is a reasonable minority. We've given you the opportunity as a government to find your feet in the first year as much as you can. And we have become so not too political with health. But you are dragging us in. It's the same thing that you did. You were so political. In 2020, the nurses went on strike for 3 weeks. Then in opposition, the NDC supported them that you should stay in opposition. They should learn from the minority. Our position in this year has been that it is too early. So we extended the goodwill, not because of the NDC government, but for the Ghanaian, whose life will be lost. And when the nurses are fixed, at the end of the day, what happened to the life that is lost? That's how reasonable that we have been. We cannot continue to be reasonable when you take the youth of this country for granted. The youth of this country matter, Ghanaians matter, nurses matter, and midwives also matter. It appears that being reasonable to them over the period, they are taking them for granted. And that is why we are trying to come in to get the public to know that there is no need for cabinet to approve anything again. There's no need. This is a clearance. Government should come and tell us that there was no clearance. There was, it expired. And they should tell us if indeed in public administration there has not been clearance which had expired and has been extended. It's no news in this country or any other country. It's no news. They lacked their will and they were too political in their decision. So government created a mess. They have to fix it and fix it now. They should pay them now because the money was allocated. They should pay them now. That's the position of the minority.